So Bitcoin's in the red again. It's like a pattern. Saturday red, Sunday red, and if Monday's a holiday or there's no big data, then yeah, another red. This time, the last major movement came from the RRP, reverse repo, market spiking. But today, the headlines are all about Trump's tariff wars. Honestly, it's exhausting. Even though the whole world is bearish on crypto right now, some people are still holding on to hope, even if they're the only ones. The big picture. James E. Thorne has an interesting take. If the US fully embraces Bitcoin and stablecoins, it could actually help the dollar stay strong. Kind of like how the petrodollar system worked in the 70s, where oil had to be traded in USD, forcing demand for the dollar. If Bitcoin becomes huge, stablecoin issuers will need to hold more USD assets, which would keep the dollar dominant. Smart move, right? The US is always thinking 21 steps ahead. Instead of Bitcoin threatening the dollar, they might just use it to trap global liquidity. And if things ever get too bad, who knows? Maybe Satoshi, whoever they are, shows up and suddenly more money gets printed to keep the system going. The lesson? Take profits when you can, convert them into real-world assets. And for savings, maybe don't keep it all in USDT, consider gold instead. The economic mess. Now, let's talk about the US economy. There's this wild idea floating around: cut $1 trillion in government spending, replace it with $1 trillion from tariffs, but then, oops, turns out you need to inject $5 trillion to fix a recession that follows. Sounds crazy, right? Or maybe the Federal Reserve just lets everything crash this time. Either way, we're talking about potentially 1 to 2 million job losses per month. That's a lot of people suddenly out of work. So, if you're wondering whether people regret their last voting choice, yeah, probably. And finally, on jobs, 588,000 people in the US lost theirs in February. That's the second worst drop since the COVID crash. But at the same time, 151,000 new jobs were added. So more than 500,000 people got laid off, but some jobs got created. What's actually happening? No one really knows, but something feels off. Bitcoin versus gold versus the dollar. Meanwhile, some US states are trying to make gold and silver actual currencies again. Think about it. If you believe the dollar is losing value, wouldn't it be nice to use gold and silver for everyday transactions, not just as an investment? Utah is leading the charge here. They've already passed the bill in their state legislature, just waiting on the governor's signature. Then there's Fidelity, saying Bitcoin could actually overtake gold. Michael Saylor, a big Bitcoin bull, has been pushing this idea that Bitcoin will absorb gold's value over time. But let's be real. Anyone selling something will talk it up, just like an insurance salesperson. So yeah, crypto and the economy are in a weird place right now. It's a mix of smart strategies, political moves, and uncertainty. The best takeaway? Stay sharp, take profits when you can, and hedge with real assets like gold.